Yes, people! Welcome back to another stream. Erling Haaland to Real Madrid is the title, and we're going to get into it. This is something that is popping off on Twitter. Seen a few articles have been going off about it, and now it has turned into a conversation. So we thought we'd have a discussion about it today. If you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Initial reaction, bro.
Initial reaction is chill. Everyone needs to chill, both at the report and at us, okay? Because we are not sitting here saying that this is reliable or fake. We're simply having a conversation about the recent reports regarding Erling Haaland. But my initial thoughts to the actual information is not one of surprise. It's not one of surprise. It's not one of shock. And I suppose the reason behind that is when you have the best striker in the world, it's only common knowledge that Real Madrid will come swimming and circling around him at every opportunity. I don't know, is this to unsettle him? We'll get into all the reports, etc. But I'm not surprised, bro. I'm not surprised. This is normal.
I mean, this is standard, and this will continue throughout the time that Erling Haaland is at City. Real Madrid, I don't think, are still over the fact that he chose us. And came to City. I think that they had obviously an issue with him coming here. They wanted him, we wanted him. It is what it is. We're gonna see this a lot more than just today. It's gonna happen for as long as he stays at Manchester City. There'll always be that thing of, oh, Real Madrid are gonna come in and get Erling Haaland. That will always exist. So I have no concerns with it.
There's so many angles to look at it, bro. I mean, the first angle is just from a media point of view. Why would the media do this? Because they know the whole of world football wants to see this happen, particularly the English football world. You know, they're all dying for Erling Haaland to leave Manchester City and go wherever. Obviously, Real Madrid are the most likely suitors if it is to ever happen. So make an article and say, you know, Haaland to Real Madrid. I mean, the article that I've looked at the most is this one from AS. It says, Haaland's current deal at City runs until 2027 and reportedly includes a £170 million release clause that will be active this summer. So that's news to me. I didn't actually know he had a £170 million release clause active this summer, if this is true. But then they go on and say, however, Spanish outlet AS have claimed that the release clause that would apply for foreign clubs is a lot closer to the £85 million mark, making Haaland available for a considerably cheaper price for the likes of Real Madrid. Now, you can choose to believe this if you want or not, chat, but we do have to look at it from both sides. Objectively, take your City cap off, and then you can put your City cap back on and say, what's the reality of this? Now, if I'm taking my City cap off, I'm saying I I could see it being true. I could see this lower release clause being true. You look at the pattern in the way Haaland has operated for all his transfers up until he arrived at Manchester City. He always made sure he had an easy escape route so that he could get to his next club pretty cheap. Like, that's why we got him for 51 million, because he implemented a clause in his Dortmund contract that meant he could leave pretty quickly. Would he do that to Manchester City? If you're being cynical, yes, of course he would. From a business point of view, yes, of course he would. But us as City fans, we like to think that he's got more of a connection with us and he sees more of a long-term future with us, to the point where he doesn't want to leave. I mean, Craig Partytime says City wouldn't be so stupid to have a release clause. They would, just to sign the player. The whole point of signing Haaland at the time was you kind of give him whatever he wants to get him through the door, and then hope he doesn't want to leave in the future. Like, if we start saying to Haaland, no, you can't have these terms, you're less likely to sign the guy.
Well, I seen at the start of it, at the start of everything, it was very much the Raiola client thing. They always have release clause in their contract, so they were adamant on a release clause being inserted into it. And then there was talks of City signing Haaland to a new deal where they could remove that. But I seen something ages ago, and a guy called Asan, or in fact Asan Naim in the chat, said before, and this is what I heard as well, that if Guardiola stayed at the football club, that release clause is basically ineffective. It was only to become effective if Guardiola left. That's the only. So for me, a release clause this summer, I don't know if that is a thing because we still have Guardiola. I personally don't. How could City insert an £85 million release clause into a contract of a guy who's worth £200 million minimum?
To sign the guy, to simply get the guy in the door. I mean, City operate in a basis. I
don't see it.
Business wise, yeah, it doesn't make clear sense to us. But City generally operate in a basis of, if you want to leave, you can leave, and anybody that we particularly want to keep, we generally give them whatever they want. It's like we give them so much love that they don't want to leave. So yeah, you can have your highest paid player at the club status. Yeah, you can have whatever release clause you want. Yeah, we're going to give you all these facilities. We're going to give you the best players in the world around you, best managers in the world around you, etc., etc. So the player ultimately goes, this club is looking after me so much that I don't want to leave. We did it with Aguero. We did it with David Silva. We've done it with Kevin De Bruyne. You just give them everything they want, to the point, Bernardo Silva, to the point where they're like, I don't really actually want to leave. But it's almost on a hope basis that they don't take up the offer of the release clause, the cheap release clause. So I could see it being true. I hope it's not, but I could see it being true. You have to look at Haaland's pattern and the way himself, Raiola, and his dad have operated up until the time they arrived at City. It was the same at Salzburg, the same at Molde, the same at Dortmund. I read his book. I've read Haaland's book. It came out a couple of months ago, and it goes into detail about all the business and the way they've done things, and the way they planned out his career, and the way they don't want to be tied down or stuck somewhere. That's clearly a massive thought process in the Haaland household. They don't want to be stuck somewhere. Now, we all like to believe he's happy at City. I believe he's happy at City. I don't think he's desperate to leave. I think this headline, or this quote that I'm going to find in a second, saying if the decision was tomorrow, he'd go to Real Madrid straight away type thing. I don't believe that for a second. I think that's absolute rubbish. But the release clause, I could see it being true. I could, absolutely.
I can see there being a release clause. Yeah. I can't see it being that cheap. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't see it being that cheap. I'm kind of. I stick with the idea that it was a Guardiola failsafe, is what I think the 2024 release clause is based on. Like, if he was to leave this summer, then obviously because at the time Pep hadn't signed that new contract, I think. I think there's no chance. I think there's no chance of it being so cheap. Plus, the thing is, release clauses anyway, the player does have to want to leave. So, and this is the thing when he said about him, he'd go tomorrow. I don't believe that either. So he does one season here and just goes, you know what? Yeah, I want to leave. God, to me, he doesn't look like a player that wants to leave.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I do believe there's a possibility the release clause is true, but that doesn't matter a toss if he doesn't want to leave the club. Do you know what I'm saying? Real Madrid could come and trigger a £10 million release clause if that was a thing for Haaland, a £10 release clause for Haaland if that was a thing. But if he says, nah, I don't want to go, well, then the transfer ain't happening. Real Madrid can want him all they want. They can, like, look, the fact of the matter is, if we're being cynical now, I've been cynical on the Haaland release clause and saying the possibilities in which are real there. let's be cynical about Real Madrid and the way they operate. Real Madrid and the media and Spain, when they come together, is an absolute circus. It's a circus of propaganda. They're loud, they're noisy, they're abrasive, and they're aggressive in the way they do things. Florentino Perez likes to be open and public. It's kind of like Real Madrid, we want you, and we're letting the whole world know to put you under pressure. So do I believe everything that comes out of Spain? Absolutely fucking not. They're a total. He's a cowboy, Perez, and they're a circus of a machine or media machine. So once again, if Haaland says I don't want to go there, well, then he's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Rio to 10 months. Yes, Rio, mates. He says the Spanish media aren't really a credible source, and that is very, very true. If you look at the past, they always do this. And it's coming from AS. So it's definitely. I think there's definitely a mix of bullshit in there, especially with the whole tomorrow. He'd choose to go to Real Madrid and all this. I just think it's arse. There's probably an ulterior motive behind this. Spanish media never really good. I mean, the same Spanish media reporting that Haaland had chosen Real Madrid and all this way back when we ended up signing him. So it's not credible. It's just a conversation that people have been having, and whether they could see him going there, because I personally do not see it. I don't see him going Real Madrid unless the thing is right. Mbappe to Real Madrid for me, I think is on. I think Mbappe to Real Madrid, he'll leave PSG on a free, go to Real Madrid, earn cash, and that'll be sorted. But for them to sign both Mbappe and Haaland, I just don't see a situation where Haaland and Mbappe are in the same team at all.
Yeah, you find it very hard to see anyway, considering they are probably the two biggest brands in world football behind Messi and Ronaldo, or maybe even right now they are the two biggest brands in world football. I don't know. Definitely European football. Haaland and Mbappe. Would it make sense for those two to share the stage at the biggest club in Europe? No, it wouldn't. I mean, they're both Nike as well. Anyway, Nike will want to have. I believe they're both Nike. Nike will want to have them at different clubs. You wouldn't want them. You want them dual representation, as much spread out your wealth, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? You want to have a big dog at City. You want to have a big dog at Real Madrid or wherever, PSG. It doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm reading another one here from Sport. This one, the 8th of January, saying Real Madrid are already working on their backup option should they fail to sign Mbappe. Plan B is to sign Erling Haaland. So you're telling me Erling Haaland is your plan B? Fuck off.
It's just not a thing. I think Haaland will stay for a bit, and I think a lot of it will depend on after Pep. I think as long as Pep's no, I don't think he retires at City. As long as Pep stays at City, I think Haaland stays at City, and then I think afterwards, depending on who we get in there and the way that City are playing, then I think that's when he might look to leave.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, if we're being totally honest with ourselves, he will probably leave when Pep leaves. I mean, it was very clear when Pep first signed for us. Even Alfie Haaland was saying things like Haaland wants to try and test himself in every league in Europe.
Yeah.
Top league in Europe over the course of his career. So that means Spain, Italy, Germany. He's already done Germany now, England, and so on and so forth. So I think if you believe Haaland's going to retire at City, more power to you. I hope you're true. I hope you're right. Sorry. But I don't think he will. I could see him playing for Real Madrid eventually.
Mm-hmm. I could see him playing for Real Madrid eventually, and like I say, it is something that they, that Alfie and Erling have spoke about and wanting to go there at some point in his career. Hopefully, City can persuade him not to. I mean, look at Aguero, man. When we signed Aguero, most rival fans and things like that were saying that he'd only last at City a couple of years and he'd go on to bigger and better things. Guy stayed here for pretty much all of his career, man. So he was an incredible service. So Haaland has probably will end up going somewhere else, but I mean, he can try and change that.
We're a bit of an enigma in that sense, in comparison to other clubs. Like, even look at Pep Guardiola himself when he signed in 2016. He'll do 2-3 seasons max, and then
he's gone.
Go back to Barcelona when they get back on their feet, or he'll go and take a big international job. And now you're looking at 7-8 years later, he's still here, and there's no real sign of him wanting to leave. And he's saying things like, "As long as City want to keep me, I'll stay." City are the best in the world at keeping their top assets happy and keeping their top assets satisfied. Like if City really want to keep you, they'll pull out every single stop in terms of wages, in terms of whatever you need in your life, in terms of the length of the contract that you want yourself. They're brilliant at keeping you satisfied. Like if you remember when, bro, you'll remember because you were going to the games back then when Aguero was in his prime. Every summer, Barca Madrid, or and one big club would come along and they're in for Aguero and his head's turned and he wants to leave. No, he ended up staying. He gave all his best years to City. World Cup winning David Silva comes to Manchester City. He'll stay 2-3 years and he's destined to go to Barcelona because he fits their style of play. Bro, he's got a statue outside the stadium. Do you know what I'm saying? Even Bernardo Silva, the last 2-3 summers in a row. Oh, he's going to leave. What's he still doing here then if he's that desperate to leave? He'd be gone. If City really want to keep you, they make you happy. So I believe Haaland, it's not just as straightforward as he's going to want to leave in a couple of years' time. He may just get to a point where he's like, you know what? I'm so happy here. Pep is gone, but I like the way the club is going under the new manager as well. So why not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's
Aguero statue. He's going to look at that company and Silva statue and go, I could get one of them. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, this really good routes everyone, isn't it? So
Yeah, right.
me and you will have one at some point, bro. No, but you're right, man. And I think there's every chance that he leaves, but there's also the other side of it, every chance that he stays. Yeah. Like it's the common thing that people always say about everyone. Like you said, then it happened with Aguero, happened with David Silva, happened with Sheikh Mansour. Remember that? Oh, he'll get bored and leave. Do you know what I mean? It happens with Pep. It happens with everyone. Anything that's good that we get, it's, oh, you can't have that for long. That'll only last a couple of years, and then he'll want something else, something better. Like, but City have been offered. I mean, we built the club for Pep, offered him his best scenario and the best setting for him. We're offering Haaland obviously incredible opportunities every season to win everything. So I don't know, man. I'm not worried in the slightest about any of this news coming from AS or anyone who's reporting it. I'm not worried at all, and I don't think anyone in the chat should be either.
No, I'm conscious of it. I'm well aware of it, and I'm well aware of the possibilities and the potential realities that can come out of it. But am I stressed that because AS say if Haaland had to make a decision tomorrow, he'd go to Real Madrid tomorrow? No, absolutely fucking not. I think anybody who spends any amount of time looking at Spanish media will know 95% of it, when they talk about English football anyway, is absolute rubbish when it comes to transfers. And it's generally coming from Real Madrid. It's forced from Real Madrid. It's their circus, their media spin. So no, I'm not stressing over it. Look, my personal opinion is he won't retire at City, but he'll stay longer than some of us believe, or than people would like him to. You know what I'm saying? Rival fans think he's going to be gone within the next 18 months. I think he'll stay quite a few more years than you expect.
Yeah, I agree. Says Action, mate, with a 10-month membership, big up, mate. He says, release clause don't mean shit. He says, if Erling wants to leave, he'll leave with or without a release clause. Erling is too big to make him a hostage. He's not Kane. And if Erling Haaland wants to leave, then City will look at the way that happens. That's what happens with any player.
If he actually wants to leave, let him go. Don't keep him. If he doesn't want to be here, don't keep him. That doesn't matter if it's Messi, if it's Haaland. Or
it doesn't matter who you are, innit? You ain't bigger than the football club.
No, you're not. Like, I don't care, Erling. Like, I don't think this is true. This is all hypothetical. But if he actually doesn't want to be here, let him go tomorrow. If you're not bigger than Manchester City, you're not more important than Manchester City. But I think Haaland does love it at Manchester City. I think he loves it where he is. You see the relationship he has with the fans. For those of you who go to the games, particularly the South Stand where I sit, he comes over at the end of every game to the South Stand. Every single game. Claps us, waves at us. You see his reactions on the bench when he's injured. He's, to Doku doing the gritty and that. We saw it the other day. Like, bro's happy, man. Bro's happy. I think he loves it where he is. He's revered. He's loved. Yeah. He's the king.
I don't see it.
And you know what it is as well, bro? He's the king in Manchester. He's the king in England. You go to Real Madrid, you're just another one of the long, long list of Galacticos. You will never go down as an icon at Real Madrid. You will never go down as a legend of Real Madrid. Look at the way they treated Cristiano Ronaldo, possibly their greatest player, if not their greatest player of all time. They booed him out of the Bernabeu. They kicked him out of the Bernabeu. If you go there, yes, you're joining the big prestigious club, but you're just another cog in the big factory that is Real Madrid. You'll never cement a legacy, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll never Like when people think of Real Madrid, they won't go Erling Haaland. Do you know what I mean? They'll go just.
Yeah.
There's been millions of them. David Beckham, Zidane, Ronaldo, Bale, you name it. They've all been there.
Yeah, I think there's a big chance that he stays. I think he does another 3 years minimum. I think he does another 3 years minimum, Haaland.
I think Pep stays too, bro.
I think Pep stays. I think Pep stays. This is something that we spoke about quite a lot as well on this channel, and we did on the panel show as well last week, that we believe Pep's going to stay and sign a new contract. I think that's what will happen. Mancunian Way, yes, Martin, with a £2.50 big up for the super chat, bro. He says 1,000% bullshit. Haaland is staying from a wise old owl. Yes, yes, man, you wise old owl. Yeah. Yeah. Haaland's staying, man. Haaland's staying. It's not a thing, man. This is not happening.
Here's a point actually from Jimmy Grimble. Do you remember? Do you remember Alfie Haaland was he throwing peanuts or something or food?
Yeah. He got kicked out of the box. It was in the Champions League, wasn't it?
It was in the Burnabout.
Yeah. Funny that. Second City Saint, big up, mate, with a $20 super chat. He says, Haaland rejected them last year. He'll sign an extension. He'll be here for 5+ years. When he does leave, we'll get 200 million plus for him. And also, we'll screw Real Madrid's wage bill with his £800,000 a week wages.
Yeah.
I mean, fact. I mean, I've been more than gassed if he stayed for 5+ years. That's incredible, especially when people say,
23?
"Oh, we'll only have
23,
22 or 23." Yeah, it's one of the two.
Yeah, I could see him staying until he's 26, 27, and then he'll cut.
Yeah, I can see it, man, and I think it is what it is, man. I don't believe all this AS bullshit. The Real Madrid's media shit. You know what I mean, that always just gets forced through. Just like I said before, this is exactly what happened when we signed Haaland. Weeks before we signed Haaland, AS are reporting that they'd agreed a fee with him and all this, and they'd agreed wages with him. All this was like forced into it, and it's just it's dead, man. It's dead. It's dead news from AS. It's not anything.
Like if you believe the report that I read, a quote from there or reference there a minute ago about Haaland being their plan B, you're crazy. If you think Haaland himself is going to accept being anyone's plan B, you're crazy. He's the greatest striker in world football right now, hands down. There's nobody better than Erling Haaland right now as a striker. If you think he's going to accept the little bro status behind Kylian Mbappe in Real Madrid's plans, nah, he won't. Yeah, why would he do that? Why would he go, oh, you didn't get Mbappe, but you want me? Okay, yeah, that sounds great. So I'm your second choice. No, he won't.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be second choice. He was someone with his quality. Rio with a 298 again. Yes, Rio, bro. Appreciate the super chat. He says thoughts on Kyle being captain. Weird one for me personally. I thought as soon as Kev came back that he'd take the captaincy, but the team have clearly chosen Kyle Walker to be captain. I'm sure there's more reasonings from than what we see. But I thought Kev was sure on to be our main Danny captain, but clearly the City lads don't think that yet. Anyway.
Yeah, it is what it is. Look, it doesn't really mean a huge.
Maybe it's just because Kyle's already done half season as captain. At the end of the season, probably change over to Kev.
That's what my thought process was. They
probably. I don't see it being too much anyway. Like, because we have a captain's team as opposed to just a single captain. So I think one of them wears the armband, obviously, and it's Kyle Walker who is the captain. But the captain's team's there, and I'm fine with the way that they run it.
I think the only thing we can really take from it is that Kyle Walker's probably going to play a lot more football.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Which is not what I want, because I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's had a good season at all. Kyle Walker, I think it's been one of his poorest seasons at Manchester City. But look, as you say, the players obviously voted for him for a reason. They obviously satisfied with his leadership in training, his leadership on the pitch, his experience. I mean, I was looking at an interesting, I think Daps put it on a story. It was like Kyle Walker at the age of 27, 0 trophies. Kyle Walker at the age of 34, 17 trophies. you know what I'm saying? Like the guy's absolutely cleaned up since he came to City. Like he knows how to win. To be fair to him, but I would have preferred Kevin De Bruyne. I would have preferred De Bruyne to be the club captain. But look at this, what it is. They know better than us, bro.
That's true. That is true. So yeah, Kyle captain ain't too much to worry about. Before we wrap things up in that, chat. If Erling Haaland was to leave Manchester City, obviously we've already said it's not a thing. Yeah, it's not a thing. If Erling Haaland was to leave Manchester City, how much money would have to be offered for you to say yes? And let's start with you, bro, innit? How much money would it take for you to part ways with Erling Haaland?
You're going to see some crazy figures come flying into the chat now.
Yeah, man. I want to see it. I want to see it.
For Erling Haaland,
200 million is very much the standard. But the way I look at it is, PSG signed Neymar for what? Was it 222? Something like that.
Yeah, 220, wasn't it?
So, what's your figure, bro?
Yeah, somewhere between 200 and 250. It's kind of probably where I'd say.
See,
it all depends on how long's left in his contract. I mean, if it was this summer, I'd be saying, and there was no release clause, like let's say that was all fake news, I'd be saying I want between 200 and 250. He's 23, best in the world. He's still got levels to go up.
I'd want 300 million. I seen honestly, loads of people in the chat there saying 300 million. Genuinely, I want 300 million with the market now, bro, and the way that it's going. Hey, you want to sign one of the best players in the world off me? Hey, you can go give us £300 million.
No one's paying that, except Saudi,
right? Well, that's the pay up or shut up, innit?
I know.
Bro, like this guy's a freak. So I'd honestly 300 million. That's what you got, bro. You want to speak, bro? I don't even open that email unless I see 300 million. That's the minimum talking point.
You're also getting in, like you can throw in, but the reasoning behind the valuation, like if you're gonna buy Erling Haaland, you're not just buying the best striker in the world, one of the best footballers in the world. You're buying a Champions League winner. You're buying a treble winner. You're buying a player who's hyper successful at such a young age. So yeah, I mean, it just seems so crazy because it's never been done before. 300 million, but I can see the reasoning. Yeah, I get it. I understand why you're saying it.
It is crazy. It's crazy money. Like it's stupid money.
I don't want that to become a thing. I don't want players to start going for 300 million. It's just crazy. Like
break the market,
like 80 million. Where 80. I remember Ronaldo went for 80 million back to the day to Real Madrid. I was like, what? 80 fucking million?
80 million is mad. During when Gareth Bale went for like 70 or 80 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was wild as well. Like it is crazy the cash that's in there, but
yeah, Josh has a good caveat to it there. We'll give you Haaland and you give us cash and Jude.
You give us cash and Jude. Yeah.
Like, if Madrid go and do what they want to do, which is sign Mbappe and Haaland, we know they want both. In theory, I believe they want both. If we have a situation where Madrid get their hands on Mbappe, Haaland, they already have Jude, they've got Tchouameni, they've got Camavinga, they got Vinicius, they got Rodrigo, they got Valverde. Football's done. Nobody's competing with that. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. Now, I don't think it'll be the case, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's cheat code, isn't it? And why would Haaland go from the best club in the world to some small Spanish teams? Is bogey.
I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah. Facts, factual. So I think we've all kind of agreed on the fact that AS is not a source really to be throwing your arms up and freaking out over. This news doesn't come as a surprise that we're seeing it because we see it all the time, and it's something that as City fans you're gonna have to get used to. The longer we keep Haaland, the more stories like this will happen, and even as the years go on and we get closer to the end of his contract, we'll definitely see even more of it, and it's just gonna circle. However, I do think that City could get down on new deals and that, and we're all in agreement in that. Don't listen to AS. And he's gonna stay at City, man.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to get used to it, Blues. You're just gonna have to get used to it. Every couple of months, you're gonna see the newest installment of Haaland to Real Madrid rumors, and we'll be here. We will be there to talk about them and debunk them. And maybe one day
myth debunked, innit? Like, we need the we need that thing.
Yeah,
myth busted.
Myth busted. We have busted the myth. Haaland ain't going anywhere, people. You can all relax. And now that we've helped you relax, please hit the like button and subscribe.
Factual. Right then, anything else, bro?
Panel show at 7, isn't there?
Yes, potentially panel show at 7. We'll round up the people and see everyone who's interested in that, and we'll get that scheduled ASAP. So yeah, keep your eyes posted. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Make sure you hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and that so you get notified every time that we go live, which will be later on with various more people. And yeah, if you're watching this back on a replay, let us know in the comment section below. What do you think? Erling Haaland to Real Madrid? Is it possible? Not possible? God knows. Well, but we'll see you in the next one, innit? See you in a bit.